Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast, and let me explain why. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
You're listening to The Gambling Corner, presented by Fat Lad Sports. Weekly winners from Sam and Liam. They dive into the stats so you don't have to. This is The Gambling Corner podcast.
Perfect.
What's up, everybody? Sports are back, and so are we. My name is Sam, and this is the Gambling Corner podcast brought to you by Fat Lad Sports. So over the past few weeks, Liam and I have decided to make a few changes to the show to hopefully improve and enhance the product that we put out whilst there are sports to gamble on. We already will have discussed and decided our 5 picks for the week. Liam is also going to provide us with an accumulator. And obviously for this podcast, the football season will be our main focus, but we'll still sprinkle in a little bit of boxing and cricket and NFL and the like. But with the NFL season just a few weeks away, there's going to be lots and lots of content from both of us for you to get your teeth into over the next few months. And we couldn't have a new intro for the show without giving the reason why most of you listen to this one. So without further ado,
Now tuned into the motherfucking greatest.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated for the main attraction.
Showtime! Woo!
Introducing the star of the show, Mr. Liam Doe.
hear me?
Yep,
Yeah, we're all there, are we? We're all good?
all ready to go.
Ready to go. How are we going?
All good, mate. Yeah, ready for a new season.
Yeah, I tell you, it felt good to press that button. It felt good. I've just done the intro and there was a little bit of ring rust, shall we say.
Yeah, I've had to wipe the dust off my microphone, so it's nice to get that out again.
Yeah, obviously quite a lot's happened since the last time we were on. Obviously we had the Euros and then we've had lots of transfers and England coming so close in the Euros, obviously from a personal point of view from the pair of us was a tough one to swallow, but we'll go again. It's behind us now. It's behind us, and I think I'm ready for us to make a splash in this, ready for us to make a splash in the NFL. I think it's going to be good.
Definitely, mate. Yeah, it's exciting times.
Yep, definitely. And I've run through the format of what we're going to try and do for people. Obviously, as I said, we've gone through our 5 picks. We've agreed them. You've got an accumulator. We'll sprinkle in some NFL, cricket, boxing, and everything else. And yeah, just try and create a decent product for everyone who listens.
Yeah, whittle it down a little bit, and then hopefully get the attention of more people for a shorter amount of time.
So if I go through what we've got as our first of all, should I say, our 5 picks for the week. Our 5 picks for the week are Liverpool and over 2.5 goals. We've got Fulham, Everton, Leicester, and Lille. So if we start with your Liverpool and over handicap, and we'll go from there.
Okay, yeah. So Liverpool are away at Norwich. Saturday 5:30 kickoff. I've got Liverpool win and over 2.5 goals. Over the last 10 years, Liverpool versus Norwich, there's been 10 games. Liverpool have won 8 and drawn 2 of those, and over 2.5 goals has cashed 8 times out of the 10. In 7 out of the 8 Liverpool wins, it's been over 2.5 goals. So if you place this bet on the last 10 Liverpool-Norwich games, it would have cashed in 7 times out of the 10, which is a nice number for us. Just generally speaking, Norwich with first games have had quite a lot of good ones recently. A lot of goals, and I can't see too much changing really. They've brought in a few good new players, attacking wise and midfielders. They brought in Gilmore, but defensively, I don't think they've strengthened much as well. Liverpool point of view, they've obviously brought in Canate, but no one else other than that. I know they're saying Van Dijk and a couple others will be like new signings, but they had a good enough season last year with the injuries, and I can see them carrying on from the season before. And they'll like to win these kind of games by a couple of goals. So I think Liverpool and over 2.5 goals is pretty easy money at 8-11. I think it's quite a good price, really.
Yeah, Norwich have also lost Emi Buendia, haven't they, as well? So
yeah, they've spent a bit of that cash. They've obviously got Rashika. I think the Gilmore loan deal is going to be quite good for them. But the main reason they got relegated a couple of seasons back was the back line, wasn't it? They got a couple of injuries and then they were shot to pieces, and they haven't really strengthened in that area too much. So I can only see the same kind of story this season, struggling at the back. I'm sure they'll score some goals here and there, but overall I can't see them doing too well this season.
No, and then we've got Everton, who are a 3:00 kickoff at home to Southampton. Everton are 10-11. And I've gone for Everton, we have gone for Everton, with an eye to Rafa being his first game at home in the league. And obviously there was a big backlash from Everton fans when he was appointed. So he'll want to win at home. And Rafa makes his teams very, very difficult to break down and defeat. Obviously, we saw that with Newcastle a bit in his last job in England. He made them tough to beat, tough to break down. Obviously, Southampton have lost Ings to Villa. So with the signing of Adam Armstrong, their attackers are Shea Adams, Shane Long, Michael Obafemi. But I think there was rumour that he might have been part of that deal with Armstrong, although I haven't actually seen anything concrete of that, and Theo Walcott. So it leads me to wonder where Southampton's goals are going to come from. So that was why I liked Everton, and obviously there are a couple of tidbits that you had on top of that.
Yeah, I like Everton. I prefer kind of playing against Southampton, like you said. A couple of big outs with Danny Ings, Ryan Bertrand, even Lamina, I think was a good player for them. They've brought in Armstrong, Perrault, the left back from Brest, and the young winger / left back from Chelsea as well. But like you said, I think they're going to struggle for goals. There's going to be a lot of weight on Shea Adams and Armstrong's shoulders. Whether Armstrong will start this weekend, I'm not sure. And Everton have a good record at home against Southampton, winning 4 of the last 5 home league meetings. So I think it's all kind of going towards the Everton side. And as I said to you earlier, if James Rodriguez turns up as well, that could be like a new signing, because he was out towards the back end of last season for a couple of months, and we saw how well he got on at the start of last season. If he's fully firing, they're a different side, aren't they?
100%. I like the fact that it's Rafa or a new manager playing at home in the first league game and with fans as well. I think that gives a big advantage to Everton in that game.
Yeah, and 10-11, you can't go wrong. I'm surprised they're that price.
And then we have Leicester, who are 8-13 at home to Wolves, also Saturday 3:00. Leicester always one side that I like to play on, especially when they're at home. Again, with the crowd, they have a good home crowd and they get behind them. And Wolves, obviously, as Liam will tell you in a minute, the injuries have mounted up still for Wolves. And the worry again is where the goals are going to come from, because as we saw when Jimenez went out last season, they really dropped a few levels. So that was my take on Wolves. And I know Liam will go into a bit more detail about their injuries.
Yeah, again, it's similar as the last game, to be fair. Obviously, Leicester are a good side. They proved that against Man City, beating them the other day. I like the new signings of Daka, whether he's going to play over Iheanacho and Vardy. There's some good competition there. They've brought in Samare, who won the league title with Lille last year, playing 32 games. They've had no real outgoings. From the Wolves' point of view, I'd just like to play against them, to be fair. Jimenez is obviously the main vocal point. Whether he's the same player after his head injury, we're not sure. They've brought in Trincao from Barcelona. The new goalkeeper, Jose Sá, replaced Patricio, who's gone to Roma. But the main point from me is the injuries. They've still got Johnny out, the left wing back, Pedro Neto's out, and Daniel Podence are out as well. So Yeah, I think it's hard to look at Wolves, really. I think they're going to struggle to score goals. The last 3 league games at the King Power between these two have been 1-0 Leicester win, 2-0 Leicester win, and a 0-0 draw, back in the point that Wolves struggling to score goals. So yeah, I can't look any other way than the Leicester home win there.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I like Leicester, especially I like Leicester at home, generally speaking.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see who they play out that front three, because Iheanacho scored a lot of goals towards the back end of last season. Dak is obviously where the money's been spent, and then you've got club legend Vardy. So it's going to be interesting to see. They've got a lot of choice up there now.
Yeah, definitely. And you've got a handicap on the next pick of Fulham.
Yeah, so like I said, I had a couple of looks in the Championship. I liked the look of West Brom against Luton at home, and it was kind of between these two out of one of our picks. And I preferred the Fulham because I like the handicap for this one. They're playing away at Huddersfield. You can get them at 10 to 11 as well, same price as the Everton game. So Fulham drew 1-1 first game against Middlesbrough at home. They had 66% of the ball and had 11 shots compared to Borough's 4, obviously proving the point that they were on top and they were giving it a good go. Probably should have won the game. They've still got the same side as the Premier League outfit, also bringing in Harry Wilson, who's very good at that level, as well as Gazaniga. Harry Wilson scoring on his debut. Huddersfield, on the other hand, not the best squad in the world. They haven't spent any money as of yet. 6 free transfers and 2 loanees for them. They're hot favourites against a poor Derby side who are in a sorry state at the moment. In their first game, they drew 1-1. They were hot favourites, as I said. And the previous 10 meetings stuck out to me. Previous 10 between these two. Fulham have won 7 times. The draws come in twice, and Huddersfield have won only 1. So Fulham away win at 10 to 11 again. I thought was a good price. Let's all be kind of leaning towards them.
Yeah, well, Fulham wasn't even on my radar until this morning when you said about them. But the handicap is strong from you. So yeah, I like the Fulham side of it. I think it's a good handicap, and with everything that you put out there, it seems like a bit of a no-brainer, really, doesn't it? Fulham at home, or Fulham in the Championship, generally speaking, would be a go-to bet regardless.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like I said, they're one of these kind of sides similar to Norwich in a way. They kind of keep the same side, and it's almost too good for the Championship, but not good enough for the Premier League. So if you look at their side player for player, they should be there or thereabouts come the end of the season towards the top end.
Yeah, 100%. And then the last one we have is Lille, who are 4-5 at home to Nice. I believe that's a Saturday 4:00 kickoff. Lille drew with Metz in their first game away from home. They were 3-3. They were 3-1 down, so there's a decent bit of morale there, I felt. It's the first home game that Lille will have had with fans since they won the league. And now I thought this was a decent point. Liam will counter this, whereas their opponents, Nice, they absolutely hammered Reims on paper without scoring. They had more possession, more shots on target, more shots on goal, but they didn't score. So I like that, but Liam will have a caveat in that, and we'll tell you a little bit more about the state of Lille's side.
Yeah, so the only thing with that is, from my point of view, I look at it from a different angle. I think if they score 1 in that game, they then go and score 4 or 5. It was just kind of the mentality of getting that first goal, similar to a couple of sides so far that have batter sides struggle to get the first goal, and then it looks good on paper, but obviously don't get any points when they don't score goals. But yeah, as stated before, Samare, one of the central defensive midfielders from Lille, has left. He's gone to Leicester, and the goalkeeper who played all 38 games, Magnan, has gone to AC Milan, and they haven't really brought anyone in. They brought a CDM in from Hamburg, who are in the Bundesliga 2 for 6 million. Can't say I've seen much of him. And they haven't brought in a goalkeeper, so whether the second goalkeeper is as good as Magnan, I'm not sure. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I just said to you earlier, I'm not sure about how the mentality, how you go into that is similar to Leicester in a way. After you've won the league the season before, knowing full well you're more time. Well, the odds are stacked against them now. PSG have got a god squad. How you go into the season that you've just won the title last season? How do you go into that next season mentally? So it'll be interesting to see how they get on, really. But they've got the main men still. They've got Renato Sanchez, they've got Jose Fonte at the back, and they've got Yilmaz up front still. So they've still got the main core, but they've lost a couple of the boys. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
I can't believe we've got through our 5 picks in 13 minutes and 45 seconds.
Well, I think it's just easier for everyone if we cut it down a little bit. It doesn't take too long out of your day. You can keep in track with us every week, see how we get on, place the bets if you want to, and it doesn't take up too long of the day.
No, definitely not. And I like the fact that there's 10 bullet points at most, sort of, and that you have to know to be able to bet the game one way or another. I like that side of things.
We come in with some good handicaps, which is obviously what you want. You don't want us just to say, "Oh, I'm betting this team because I fancy him this week." We do say why we're betting them. It's just, I think we've been dragged into since starting it. Obviously, this is a new thing for me and Sam. We're not pros. We're never going to say we're pros at this. We'd like to be eventually, but we started this halfway through last year. Obviously, we can improve. We're always going to be able to improve. But I think last season we maybe got caught into doing too much of the stat work. So I think just whittling it down is just a bit easier for everyone. Like I said, if we get it into a half hour, 45-minute pod, that's a lot easier to take out of your day than an hour and a half sometimes they went on to. But when we've got boxing, NFL, etc., to talk about, we might sneak into the half an hour plus, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, but still that's not long to take out of your day, is it?
No, and there's also a case to be made that if we have anything boxing wise, we can chuck it out as a 5-minute podcast or make a video or something like that and do it that way. And this will be the football, as I said in the intro, football will be the focus of this particular podcast, but there's so much to look forward to now sports wise with the cricket, the NFL, the football, boxing. There's loads of stuff for us to go into, so there should be an awful lot of content from the both of us over the next few months anyway. But I think if we keep this short and sweet, football mostly, and then if there's anything else we can sort of do other things for it. But I like the format now as is. If we can get short, sharp, punchy one out and keep people's attention, but still don't lose some of that integrity that we have with the stat side of things and the handicap and the work that goes in and the general piss take that we'll have with each other as well. So I think it's good. I think this format will work long term, definitely. And one of the things that we wanted to add to the podcast, Liam wanted to do an accumulator. So I'll hand over the reins to him and he'll go through his accumulator.
So yeah, the general speaking of that is you come back to the football season, you want to put a 5 or a 10 or on an ACCA, don't you, really? Because that's where you're going to win big money. Long-term speaking, we've said it in the past, that's not really the way to go. But I'm going to try kind of an experiment just to see how we get on this year. So I'm going to be doing our 5 picks, dead certs every week, 5 singles or whatever. And then I'm going to have an ACCA running next to it as well, just to see how we go and keep tabs on that, just to see if we can make long-term profit out of it, because we've been ones to say, oh, there's not much point in it. But you do see the occasional big winner, and that could cover you for a long time. So it's not the sensible thing, I don't think, but I think that's the joys of football. You've always got that potential of winning that big ACCA.
It's good fun, it's good entertainment, isn't it?
Exactly, as long as you're not too serious. That's why we're running it with our 5 normal picks, which are the serious ones. And this is a bit more fun, just to see how we get on. And come the end of the season, I can let you know if we ended up in profit, if we're in a big net loss or whatever. So it's just something that might be a bit fun just to keep track of. So this week, I've got 7 teams in my ACCA. I've got Chelsea, Aston Villa, Manchester City, Marseille, PSG, Wolfsburg, and Ajax. I'm not going to handicap them games. They should be pretty self-explanatory. You've got, as I said to Sam earlier, you've got some of the teams in there are 50-50s. So they're leans that we both kind of like the look of the side, but not enough to put in our 5 dead certs. And then you've got the other teams that are properly dead certs and not worth putting any money on if you're just going to do it as a single. Per example, Chelsea at 2-9 at home to Palace, PSG who are 2-9, Ajax who are 1-8. So you're not going to put a tenner on them just to win. So you put them in and you put a mixture of kind of the leans that we like, and then you come out at, I've got £10 on this, and the returns are £139. That's with Bet365. Obviously, with those, you get, if they go 2-0 up, you then get that cashed out. So if they go back to draw 2-2, that's still come in. And you get an ACCA boost as well with those. So that's why I've placed it with that bookmaker.
Yeah, and I think it's important to add to that, like we say, it is a bit of fun. It's not necessarily the long-term goal of, you're not going to be long-term profitable by betting seven teams together, but it's a good fun. It's good, and as long as we have our 5 picks and everything else that we do the major handicaps on and stuff, then we keep our integrity. And as you know, if we give out bets to people, we want to keep our integrity intact. So that's the main thing. The main point of it is it can be fun, but long term, is it profitable? I don't know, but it's good fun, and it'll be a good ride while it lasts. Yeah.
So like I said, it's one of those. We're not gonna put anything major on it, and like we said, we're not sure if it's going to be profitable or not. You don't make your money through accumulators, really. So it's just going to be a kind of test as we go along and just track it. And I'll keep you up to date with it. I'll probably do one every week. Like we said, that it's a bit of fun, and we'll just test it and see how we get on. But yeah.
Okay, so just to recap, our 5 picks are Liverpool and over 2.5 goals in the game, 8-11. Fulham at 10-11. Everton at 10-11. Leicester at 8-13. And Lille at 4-5. And Liam's accumulator, he has got a 7-fold of Chelsea, Wolfsburg, PSG, City, Ajax, Villa, and Marseille. And that accumulator pays out at what, 12.9 to 1? Yeah, 12.9 to 1. Right. Unless you have anything else to add, that would be it, I think.
That would be it for the first pod.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
22 minutes. Lovely job.
Love to see it.
All right. Good luck, everybody, and we'll talk to you next week.
See you later.
Thanks for watching. Bye.